afternoon and welcome to another episode of the Journeyman podcast in association with Switchbox TV, in association with NHS frontline staff. And today I'm joined by Jess Impiazzi.
Impiazzi.
Do you know what? I've been doing it all day trying to get your
It's
your
the
name.
hardest one. I have so many people stress that one.
Where are you from? From Italy?
Yes, and my maternal side. My granddad was an Italian guy. He was half Italian. His family all Italian. So
yeah. So obviously we start talking about lockdown and obviously what the NHS nurses are doing, and it's great for everyone, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, without them, we would be in a lot of trouble, you know. And I think maybe finally people are going to respect the NHS a bit more. I think we've all become very complacent, and I said this to a lot of people that I hear so many people before all this complaining about the NHS, moaning, oh, I didn't get an appointment in time, I didn't get this. But we are so lucky as a country to have the NHS, and like it's shown in times like this, it's the backbone of our country. And hopefully now people will start seeing that, stop being so entitled, and just realise that they're doing an amazing job and keeping us all safe and putting their lives on the line for it.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, going back to, you was in obviously Celebrity Big Brother, and how did it feel difference-wise to this lockdown and Big Brother?
Do you know, I was speaking to Amanda Barry earlier today. She was in Celebrity Big Brother with me, and we were saying how it was kind of a prep for isolation anyway. But it made us also think how lucky we are. Like in Big Brother, you had everything taken away from you. You had no phones. You're literally just there with strangers you don't know, and just stuck in house for 4.5 weeks if you make it to the end. And so to be honest, we were both saying that it's been quite nice. Obviously the reasons why are not nice, they're horrible, and it's sad, we see so much sadness around, but at the same time it's a chance to step back and reflect on yourself and also things around you that we've taken for granted. So the Big Brother house was, I suppose, a tougher version of learning how to live in lockdown.
Yeah, I've been to jail, so that's the same sort of lockdown.
Yeah.
Obviously, going back to your, let's start with your childhood, because people don't know probably your upbringing. You know, give the listeners a chance to hear about you.
Yeah, I mean, I was about 7 years old and experienced some domestic violence in the house, which went for a few years. But I think, so from that, and then after that, it was kind of a timeline of a few things that were not very nice. My nephew died. My real father was an alcoholic. He's now got dementia and stuff because he drank too much. My mum went blind. I had to leave theatre school. So all these things were like a one after the other. And I found out only maybe about 3 years ago that I had post-traumatic stress disorder, because from a kid, it was only trauma. You don't really, your response system becomes very different to a child that hadn't grown up with something like that. Yeah. So I think when I found out I had that, I could work on myself and get better. You know, I think it's always easier to, when you know what's wrong, to pinpoint why you do certain things, or why you behave in certain ways, or why you haven't figured yourself out. So I think, yeah, growing up with that was hard, but I had so many lovely times as well, and now I learned to focus on them rather than be in this state of panic all the time. PTSD was something I thought was just from soldiers. I didn't think I'd have that from growing up with that, but you do, because it's your response system to a trauma.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just learned to kind of, from seeing those things as a kid. I mean, I remember at 17 we lost my nephew to meningitis. I was with him, was helping take care of him that particular day, and it's very difficult. A 17-year-old girl is a hard age to be at the best of times. Yeah. But when, you know, I've just watched a 13-month-old baby die in front of me, it's an extra trauma. And I don't think I ever realised how much damage that had done until I got to my very late 20s, and to understand myself a bit more and actually learn to heal rather than drink. That's what I did in my 20s. I'm feeling a bit pissed off, I'm going to go and drink. And I made choices that I don't regret anything now, because I think it's a horrible burden to hold, having regret. But I've learned from it, and that's the best thing, that probably getting intoxicated to forget is never ever going to help anyone in any way, shape or form.
But going back to, you know, your dad was an alcoholic. Was you worried about, you know, you had that trait within you?
do you know what? It didn't even register with me. I just thought I was so caught up in this mad headspace. I thought, just go out and have fun, because you want everyone to see that you're happy and having fun and doing well. So just keep going out. Until I got older and I realised, I know obviously it is a hereditary thing. It can be, can't it? Alcoholism.
Yeah.
I didn't drink for about 3 years when I started to try and work on myself. And now I'll have the occasional drink, but boy, do I get drunk quick if I have one now. Quick, cheap night out, that one. But yeah, it did occur to me that I didn't want to go down the same route as him. Like now he's been self-isolated for about the last 10 years, my dad. He just sits in the house. I make sure that he's fed. I send his food down. I go down on a Monday to deliver his food. But he has to have carers. He doesn't really speak. He doesn't have any idea about what the world is apart from inside his house. He won't leave the house. He's now got vascular dementia, which was brought on by the alcoholism, and Alzheimer's. And I think it was so sad because my dad, he was so athletic. He was a good-looking man. He was so athletic. I remember when I was a kid. I mean, my mum and dad were never really together. I don't remember them ever being together. But when I used to see him on the occasional weekend, I mean, I have memories of him diving off the top diving board and doing flips. So he was such an athletic man. And to see what he's become, I will never, ever, ever allow that to happen to me.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the time you can learn a lesson from it, or you can do the opposite. You can do the opposite of what they are. And I know that I never want to be like that and get myself into such a space. So if I ever do feel myself being a bit down or anything, I do little tiny things to keep me active. I'll go for a walk through the woods. I don't know about you, but I know when I walk through nature, or I walk somewhere or do a bit of exercise, my endorphins kick in and I just feel better already.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going back to obviously you went to Italia Conti school. My little girl's there at the moment. She's doing a pro course.
Yeah.
They just started a pro course. So basically they do a Thursday, a Friday, and a Saturday all day. Yeah.
Yeah, before I went to the one in London, I did the same course, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday one.
Where did you do? Was you in Guildford or was you doing it in London?
Started in Guildford and then went up to the London school from year 9 and then
you know Sue and all that there.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're the best times. Honestly, my life at Italia Conti, I think that's what gave me the drive back when I could have gone 2 ways coming out of a childhood. I think having that backbone of Italia Conti and the stability of and a passion that kept me going, and I think now I've kind of gone back to that. But Italia Conti was I mean, I can't even not talk about it without a smile on my face. It was
I've noticed in every interview you do, you mention Italia Conti. So obviously that was a massive part in your life. I mean, I was a professional boxer, so for me, my boxing was my. So I've got 2 girls, got Shannon and Marnie, and both of them I've got into acting, and because I think you need some sort of structure within your life, you know.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And obviously, going back to your mum, obviously your mum, I read about your mum going blind, and obviously that must have been what give you the strength to sort of get through that sort of thing as well, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so I left Italia Conti a year before I graduated the college, so I went through the school and then up into the BA Honours degree, which I didn't end up completing because that's when my mum went blind.
Yeah.
But I suppose I kind of lost sight of my dream, but the fire never left, and that's why I managed to come back, because I saw my mum go through a really horrible time, and obviously her own head was gone. I was not in the best place, and I think seeing her pull through that and find the positives out of it, like she goes skiing every year with a special charity. She's got her guide dog, and each time you watch someone who has less than you, my mum being her eyes, have a success, you realize that actually there is nothing stopping you. When people, I mean, you see it all the time at the Paralympics, people are doing things that us able-bodied people would be so never be able to do that. But it just shows you what your mind can do, and once you put your mind to something, you really can achieve anything. And I think I saw that from my mum, and that was kind of the point where I'm like, okay, come back, I'm coming for your acting world.
So obviously then you started off with a glamour modelling, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Was that obviously because you took a lot of time out of Italia Conti and all that? Do you think if your life would have been a little bit different, you'd have just naturally gone into acting?
Yeah,
glamour modelling?
Yeah, definitely. It was never something I wanted to do, and I fell into it. I really needed money. Mum had lost all her job and everything, and I just thought, okay, I have to do this. When I talk about it, I don't like to sound like I'm all doom and gloom, because I did meet some lovely people and I had a good time. But looking back, one thing I wouldn't have done would have been that. And it's not because I'm a prude anyone, I've suddenly changed and been like, oh, I'm a saint, I'm a nun. But it's more like the fact that I realised my headspace back then, I probably had very little self-worth. I wasn't doing it in a place of, I really want to be doing this and I love it. I needed to have some validation, and I used it as a validation. When I look back now, and I think that's quite sad that I felt I had to go there to get validation.
I mean, I want to get onto this because obviously my little girl now is going through that school, and I know how hard they work. Like, she's there 3 days a week. I know how hard they work. So when I look at, say, your career, at the start of your career, obviously with your mum on your own, so basically you just had to make ends meet. You had to make money. You know, you never had you had to pull out of, obviously, Antalya Conti. But like I say, it's mad how people are going into this reality TV and they're making more money out of this reality TV than what people are making out of acting.
Yeah.
You know, I've done that.
It's sad. I do find that sad, because I look back now and I'm like, people work so hard, they're so talented. But I think there's a shift coming. I think people are a bit sick of seeing people go on these shows, and I mean, myself included, because I've done them. So,
but I've got to say, you have gone through an apprenticeship. You went through an apprenticeship, and it's so sad to see. Not sad, so sad. Cause you've done well out of it, and you know, it's not putting anyone down. But you've gone through this hardship of everything in your life with the acting and all that, and then all of a sudden, you go on these reality TV shows because that's all that's around at the moment, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I was known for. But like, I do think the public might be getting a bit sick of it now, because the way they're pumping these shows out, the way it's causing all these mental health problems. You've got, that's 3 people from Love Island have now committed suicide. It's showing actually there's a bigger impact on these. Imagine that you're going from never being known to overnight having millions of people know who you are, your business, and the media attack. The media love to tear people down, but some people are simply not that strong to deal with that. And I mean, with Caroline Flack, how awful that was. That time leading up to that was just every day in the paper, hammering her, going for her. Then the trolls come in, and I don't think anything can ever prepare you for that. And I think I personally don't watch hardly any reality TV anymore, because I know the outcome of it. I know how it can actually really damage people. I've been friends with people that have killed themselves from it. I've been at a stage where I felt like
My brother done it.
Yeah.
I got out of hospital 4 days after having a brain tumour, a career-ending injury, and my brother hung himself 4 days afterwards. Didn't even know he was not right in it, not right. But I mean, going back to that about the people that have killed themselves off Love Island, right? Jeremy Kyle, one person dies in about 40 years of Jeremy Kyle. They switched the show off. Obviously, listen, let's be honest here. Obviously, because they're not getting the ratings, right? Love Island's getting loads of ratings and making loads of money. What's more important, life or money?
This is the problem I think we live in, and if anything, I'm hoping isolation, what we're going through at the moment, is going to bring out a kind of structure within humans, because we've lived in such a greedy world. Like, we've been, people care more about ratings than they do about health. People care more about filling their pockets than they do about the health of others. And I think the tables are beginning to turn a little bit, because I think the last Love Island had less ratings than normal, I think I read. Things are on the down. I think people want to be happy and see nice things now. Like, but back in the day, you had Only Fools and Horses. You had they're still classics, because there were such brilliantly written TV shows. And I think, if anything, it's probably a bit lazy of television to just keep chucking on the reality shows, because it's probably a lot cheaper and a lot easier to shove that on and they get a load of money from it.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think, like going through all these drama schools and all that, I think everyone should have to go through drama schools to get on TV and stuff like that. So what they should do is safeguard them as well and say, listen, you're going to get trolled. You're going to get this. We know, you know, and I know, because we've both been there. We know how things should be. But will they change things, or will they just keep spinning them out?
I mean, hopefully not, but you just don't know. I mean, the isolation, I read today that that the next Love Island is not going to be able to be filmed because of COVID. So maybe it will get people's imaginations going again, and we can get some good scripts pumping out for actors that are
Yeah, but I mean, going back to Caroline Flack, right? What did they do? 2 days off Love Island. They said, "Oh yeah, we're going to stop it for 2 days." Bang, it's back on again. I mean, I see things differently to what other people do, and you know, everyone's got their own opinions on this and that, but nothing's going to change if they don't change it. You know, and they don't change it themselves. You know.
Yeah.
Obviously, you do a lot of training with the mental health as well. I'm very good friends with Tyson Fury. I've suffered with it myself, but I'm very good friends with Tyson. And obviously, you say, again, it lets happy endorphins go and all that sort of stuff. So you believe exercise is the way forward.
Yeah, and I believe the way we control our mind. I remember when I was depressed, that if I had a bad thought, it would consume me. But I read a lot. I read so many books all the time, and I think usually my bookshelf behind me.
Yeah. Have you read the Chimp?
No, I haven't. What's this one?
Brilliant. It's basically about, you've got the image. You've got your front side of your head, which is our human brain. Yeah, which is our human thinking. You've got the middle, which is the chimp, and you've got the back. Have you heard about it?
Yeah.
They say the chimp tells you what to do, and that's when you do things that are not right. So that's very good.
See, I'm really into that, how the human mind works, and I think once you can, and it's taken me maybe 2 years now to get to this stage, but once you come in control of your mind rather than your mind control you, life starts to change. Now, I never used to, I didn't know, so I couldn't think like that. But the more I read, the more I realised, okay, I am the one that trains my mind, not my mind training me, and my emotions need to be controlled by me, not the other way around. So there's a fantastic woman called Mel Robbins. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's called The 5-Second Rule. Yeah. And this started, I've read her first book about 3 years ago now. And it would be where I didn't have much motivation, and I couldn't get things started, and I was getting a bit of a rut. And it was that the minute you wake up, you press the snooze button, or you have 5 more minutes, or that kind of mentality. She's saying to count from 5 to 1 and jump out of bed. You force yourself like a rocket, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, and you go. If you delay that after that 1, your brain is, or even you're going out crossing the road, or our brains are designed to protect us and keep us safe. So we want to stay in because we know it's safer, but it will put us in a bad mood because we're not achieving anything. But if you leave anything after that 1 second, when you hit the 1, your brain kicks in and tells you not to do it because it's unsafe. But you're not aware of that. It's just what our natural instincts are doing. So if you can beat the natural instinct, one little thing by one little thing, your whole life starts to change. And that book seriously changed my life, because I was getting up on time. Anything when I felt a bit of fear, I'm going to go and do it. I've just completed a book. I wrote a book, and I think when the press release comes out on Monday, and I thought, oh, no one will ever want to listen. No one cares. And then I sent my book in, got a publisher, and I signed the deal 2 days ago. And it's like these little things that I was so fear-based to not do, I've been doing them, and actually my life has been completely changing around because I'm putting myself up, I'm going for it. And I think in life you've got to find a passion, and I think we all are born with a natural passion. I remember as a kid I used to sit behind the sofas and write stories. I wasn't out playing, I was writing stories or reading my books. And we kind of grow up with influence from other people telling us what we should be doing, or you can't do this. And as a kid, if you hear you can't, you just say, oh, I can't do that.
Negativity. It's negativity. That's what it's based on. But going back when you was on X on the beach, obviously then you went to Thailand, didn't you? And then you had to pull out. Yeah. That was a change in your life, really, wasn't it, at that point?
Yeah. Because I did 2 series of X on the beach. The first one was quite a good breakaway for me, because that one I was going through some crazy times at home, and I just got the job, and off I went and turned the phones off, and away I was. Just young and reckless on that one. But the second time I went back, I was a bit older. I think I was 26 or 25, and I'd gone on the show, and I was like, this just isn't for me. I realised how structured it was when it comes to reality. There's nothing real about going onto a villa with a heap of people you don't know and a couple of ex-boyfriends. There's nothing real about a production company with a thingy in your face, a camera in your face. And I thought, I'm going to lose myself if I carry on down this route. And a bit like how I told you when I was out drinking my problems away, this was that kind of moment where I'm like, this is going to lead to a dangerous road for me. It's not the place I want to be going. And if I don't step away now, I'm going to screw up any chance of trying to act and carry on with that in my life. And I made the decision. I was like, look, I want to go. And they were like, oh, they were trying to keep me to stay. And I said, look, I need to go. And I was getting terrible anxiety because the people around me were screaming and shouting. I was like, this is not what I want to be known for. Like, I've worked hard all my life training through scholarships, that you're more than this. And I'm not putting people down for it, because some people go thriving from it. But I knew I wasn't that type of person that could thrive off of that. I had to step away.
But then obviously you met a rugby player, didn't you?
Yeah, that didn't go down too well.
But you got married in the same place as Britney Spears.
I did. That was we went to Vegas, and I was like, okay, if we're doing this, I'm going Britney Spears' chapel. If it's good for Britney, it's good for me.
That's not a real wedding, though, Las Vegas, is it?
Do you know what? Everyone always says to me, would you get married again? Does it put you off? And I say, of course I'll get married again, because I didn't really get married properly if you think about it. Like, I turned up, I was half an hour late because I forgot to get the piece of paper from the registry office, ran back, did the thing. I was so jet lagged that we got back to the Venetian, took off our wedding gear and ate a burger, and then went to bed and slept for about 14 hours. So it wasn't all rock and roll. It was more like, I need a nap and rush through this. It was just crazy. I had no hen do, so I haven't experienced a proper done wedding. I've just experienced the quickie. You could even go for a drive-through at this one. You could wear literally a nice top and no pants, and then you drive through. So.
Who married you? Not Elvis.
No, Miguel, I think his name was.
Was he an Elvis?
No, he wasn't dressed up as Elvis. He was just I think he was Mexican. He was just in his little suit and stand there at the end with me and two strangers.
It's a crazy place though, Vegas, isn't it? It's crazy. It's just.
I love Vegas.
If anyone wants to know what reality TV's like and the fame around it, go to Vegas, because it's fake, isn't it? Let's be honest. It is.
Yeah, completely.
I mean, we get a few people that crack it and they do all right, but you get a lot of people that go down, just go the other way, and go down the wrong roads and things like that. And
easily done.
What's that? Say again?
It's so easily done if you don't have the right mind and you're sure in yourself. It's easy to be led away by probably characters that you're probably not good for you.
And you had a romance with Charlie Sheen.
Do you know what? That's not true. It's so funny because I met him at an event, and he was so nice. And I was talking about he was going on the Piers Morgan show. Yeah. And we were just talking about Piers Morgan, because I love true crime stories. So do you remember Piers Morgan's Killer Women series?
Yeah.
I loved it. So me and him was talking about that. And he said, oh, I'm going on the Jack the Ripper tour tomorrow. Do you want to come with your mum? So me and my mum went around Whitechapel on the Jack the Ripper tour. We just became friends, and it was simple as that. So what happened was, we'd taken a picture together like this. He uploaded it to his Instagram saying, oh, great to be shown around London by Jess today. So of course the papers are like, vroom, Jess's new boyfriend. I was like, oh my God, this is not true. So Piers Morgan said to him on his live show, oh, I see you've got a new girlfriend. And Charlie, as a joke, said, oh, yeah. But then after, he said, no, I'm joking, that's one rumour I'd like to be true, and then laughed it off. But the press took the first quote, and then it went everywhere, global. And I was like, and he even said, I'm so sorry for that. But no, we were just friends. There was nothing, there's no romance there whatsoever.
I mean, I had done an interview on IFL TV the other day. It's good to have a listen to it. But basically, I was at a shooting in Dublin, and at a weigh-in, and someone got killed and two people got injured bad. And the papers just took it out of context, the Irish papers, and it was basically a setup and a hit for someone else. And you can tell how the papers can go, the wrong way with stories. They've done the same with me in the papers about when I had the brain tumor, and my kids found out from the newspapers, not from from me.
Yeah,
which is a scary thing. But the tabloids can be your best mates or your worst friends.
Agreed. And anything that will sell a good paper, they'll twist it to fit the narrative, and that's also quite damaging to people. And I think maybe the media needs to take a bit more responsibility when it comes to that, to be quite honest, because at the end of the day, everyone's a person with the same feelings. Just because people know you doesn't mean they don't have them.
What do you think of social media?
I think it is both a blessing and a curse. for me, it's been a great platform at the moment where I've been able to upload a lot of my acting to show people that that's where I came from, not just from reality. You know, it's been a great platform for me to able to showcase my stuff and get me new parts. I just recorded a new TV series, and I got it from the director seeing my videos that I've been uploading and my show reels. So in a sense of creating a business for yourself or for a product or whatsoever, it can be an absolute blessing, and businesses have thrived from it. On the curse kind of side, it's given a platform to people that are unhappy in their own lives to think it's normal to try and attack people all the time. I'm quite lucky. I don't get it very often, and when I do, I just ignore it, because I mean, I don't know anyone in their right mind that sits there and thinks, I know what I'm going to do today. I'm going to make an account and attack this person for fun. Like, I mean, I can't see that being in my timetable anytime soon. And I think you'd have to be pretty damaged yourself to be doing that. So that's how I see it. But a lot of people can't see it like that, and they take these things to heart. And I think what needs to happen is it needs to be governed properly. It's kind of such a new thing. There's not really laws. There's not really. It's kind of. It's real life, but it's not real life because it's online. So there's this balance where I think it needs to be governed, and you have to have identification to sign up to these things, just as you would to own a car. So that you can't be sitting there doing it, and people need to be held responsible and accountable for the actions they are putting out there. Only then will people finally learn. It just seems that some people's brains work in a funny way and think, oh, it's normal to attack people all the time, because I can't see them going in the street and going to say it to their faces.
Yeah, you're not only an actor, you've got a business. You're a businesswoman as well, with your fitness range and all that sort of stuff. And obviously, you've got extensions. You're doing new extensions. Funny enough, my wife's a hairdresser, and what I want to get back onto about the you're saying about governing things and all that. They're talking about hairdressers, the first people to go back to work. I don't understand that, with obviously the COVID.
Yeah, I know. And it's also a place where you can have especially now, you can have a congregation of women running through the doors trying to get their hairs fixed. We're just going to breed. I think everything needs to be done nice and slowly. I think you don't want to have a second wave of this. That's the last thing everyone wants. So, but you know what? I think people are going to be quite cautious. I've spoken to a few people about this, saying, oh, if the pub's open, are you going to be running in? Or if this opens, are you going to be running in? And a lot of people are saying no, that they're going to hold back a bit. Then I see different on social media when I see videos pop up from Westminster Bridge and places like that on Thursdays, congregations of people clapping together for the NHS. I'm like, you're defying the object. Like, how are you standing there clapping for the NHS when you've got a 3-month-old baby in your arm surrounded by people? Like, I can't. I can't even understand it.
So obviously your fashion range and your extension stuff, where can people get that?
Or... You know what? So when I moved to LA at the, I think it was last January, I went until the end of March. For 4 months I flew over there. I went November, came back for Christmas, and then stayed there till March. So I actually cancelled the sport company. I closed it down just because I wasn't there enough. And when I started it, it was simply because it was something I was really enjoying, and really I enjoyed designing. I enjoyed creating all this stuff, but I didn't want to just hand it to someone and have my name on it anymore, because it didn't make sense. It wasn't a passion project really then. So I took some time back, and maybe in the future it'll be something I'll reopen and rebrand and do a bit different.
What about the extensions?
The company's still going. It's my friend's company, and I had a range with them. X Factor hair extensions, and it was when I was living up north with my ex-husband. So I was up there. I met these people who became lifelong friends, Beth and Richard, from X Factor hair extensions. Now they always did my hair for me, made me look nice for events, and they said, would I like to collaborate on a range? And I did, and so that's been really good. That they're still going well, and I don't wear extensions anymore, so I don't promote it as much. But I definitely had a great time working with them. They're great people, and it kind of introduced me to the world of business as well, and how I can make money around my acting career. Because as you know, acting isn't just one easy long road. You have great times and great jobs, and then you might not have anything. So you've got to have your little things, just little passion projects, I call them.
Yeah. So anyway, before we go, it was lovely to speak to you. I'd like to ask you if there's one thing you can give to people out there listening, with mental health, or obviously you've been through a lot like I have, and that's why I started this channel. But what would it be?
I think just to believe in yourself and know that there's always brighter days. I feel like the mind is like the seasons. You have your winter and you have your summer and you have your autumn, and you can always get through everything. You just got to keep going, because life is really worth living and you're worth it.
Yeah, listen, this is my little girl, Shannon. Say hello, Shannon.
Hello.
Hi Shannon, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. So you're at Talia Conti?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm jealous. I wish I could go back. It was the best.
I'm currently doing online classes with us at the moment.
Oh.
So I'm doing them like every day, because when we're in the pro course, we're allowed to do them every day. So yeah, it's really fun.
What teachers have you got at the moment?
So I've got Holly Shackleton.
Oh, say hi for me. She taught me too.
Yeah, I've got Joe Baumber.
Yeah.
I've got who else I've got? I've got Susanna. I've got Lucy Dungate.
Oh, Lucy Dungate, went to school with her.
Yeah. There's quite a few. There's a lot of ones that have just joined, so I don't think.
What's her name? Carrie. Carrie's there. You know Carrie.
Carrie. Robert. What's her name?
Carrie's her mum that owns Conti.
Yeah, Carrie.
Oh yeah. I didn't know she was teaching that. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So is there any advice you could give Shannon? Give Shannon a bit of advice.
Give up. Always trust your instincts and never ever give up, because once it's in you, that bug, you won't lose it. You love it, and just keep the passion there.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you, Jess. Means a lot. Thank you very much.
No problem.
And, obviously, all donations have begun to the NHS. So if you want to say anything about the NHS, you can before you go.
Yeah, well, just a massive thank you, really. I think hopefully now you're going to get the appreciation you've deserved the whole time, and yeah, keep doing the wonderful work. Keep safe, and thank you.
Thank you, Jess. Speak soon. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.